Welcome, Professor Lumumba.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You may resume your seats. I'm a great opponent of lengthy introductions. Let me start by thanking the pastor and his wife, and also appreciating those who have spoken before me and those who are present to listen to our presentations. Without you, we would be talking to ourselves. There is a sense in which much has been said. If it is the history of the continent, slavery that has been mentioned, if it is colonization that has been spoken to, if it is neo-colonization that has been spoken to, if it is in describing the continent of Africa as having been divided so very arbitrarily in Berlin in 1884 and 1885, that has been spoken to. And we have been told so very correctly how that continues to bedevil the continent of Africa and to undermine our attempts at unity. Those of you who are students of history will remember that in 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and in 1964 in Cairo, Egypt, the debate was, should we redraw the boundaries? It was agreed by the founding fathers then that that would be an exercise in fueling conflict, and that if we were moving towards unity, then redrawing boundaries was unnecessary. The OAU was, of course, founded in 1963, a weak organization which, as it were, introduced the concept of inviolability of boundaries and placed emphasis on sovereignty. We have been told that that could very well be the reason why Africa's growth has been stunted. There are those, and Nnamdi has told us so very effectively, that upon consultation with the gods, he has been told very useful things, and the gods are right in the revelation that they have made. The gods are right in saying that we have suffered in many ways and continue to do so, and that therefore the post-independence African country or countries are bedeviled by many things. That could be a reason. It has also been said that part of the reason why we have not realized our potential is because we make the wrong choices. And that could very well be true. And my brother who spoke about choices so very well told us that it all rests on the choices that you make. And you who are Christians will remember that at critical moments, even in the Christian tradition, it has always been a question of choices. If you read the book of 1 Kings at chapter 18, when there is conflict in that little place called Israel, Elijah summons them and says, choose you now. If Baal is God, bring the 450 disciples of Baal and the 400 of Asherah who dine with Jezebel. And if God is God, let him be worshipped. If Baal is Baal, let him be worshipped. Perhaps that is the reason why we are where we are. We never make the right choices. We choose Baal when we should be choosing God. There are those who have said possibly, and you see this choice if you read the book of Joshua chapter 24, when he calls the Israelites and tells them, choose you now. Do you want to worship the gods whom your ancestors worshipped before they crossed the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell? As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Perhaps we are not serving the gods, and that the gods are angry. And in the anger, they continue to visit pain upon us. So there is a sense in which all and many things have been talked about. But Africa sometimes judges ourselves very harshly and with a jaundiced sense of history. The post-colonial African state, the oldest post-colonial African state, is Ghana, 66 years only. Nigeria, 63 years only. And we often forget these very important and immortal words of John Henry Clark, when he said that all African countries, upon regaining independence, started to conduct their affairs on the basis of systems of governments that were borrowed from Europe, and that none of them will ever succeed on the basis of borrowed systems. And as if he were a Jewish prophet, he is being proven right on a daily basis. Because whenever we in the African countries think that we have identified the problem and that we have identified the antidote, when we apply the antidote, new wounds appear. That has been the state of Africa, and that continues to be our state. And therefore, when we judge Africa, we must ask ourselves, from whose lens are we judging Africa? When in 1965, the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah wrote the book, Neo-Colonialism, the Last Stage of Imperialism, and the Most Dangerous, he was right, and he was overthrown for it, because the colonizer left but never left. And if you have any doubt, see what is happening in Niger, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, in Mali. They are alive and well. And Africa remains the only continent in the world that is still referred to as Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone, and now we are beginning to even call it Russophone and Sinophone and Indophone. There is a sense in which we must never forget this, so that when we are judging Africa, we ought to judge her on the basis and upon the realization that the headwinds that stand on our path are numerous, and that there is no shortage of fifth columnists within our ranks. The SMO spoke, and if the SMO were to speak a little longer, he would have reminded you of what Chinua Achebe said in Things Fall Apart, that they came and put the things that held us together, and we can no longer reason as one. And he said, we may have sent the white man away, but what about our brothers whose minds they have infected and infested? And there is no shortage of them. So Africa can and will arise. And if you look at the continent of Africa, she has always been conscious of the need to do right things. And if you look at the continent since 1963, and I can remember this so very vividly, I can remember Kwame Nkrumah in 1957 on the 6th of March saying, the freedom of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa is not free. He says the same thing in 1958. He repeats the same thing in 1960 in Casablanca, Morocco. He repeats it again on 25th of May, 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where he tells the 32 heads of states gathered there, we must live here with one army. We must live here with one currency. We must live here with one foreign policy coordinated. And I even suggest that we can have a capital, and I suggest Bangui in Central African Republic because it is the most central, but we listen to him not.
All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back updates and information as to the hot. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them all. Let's go down to the news proper as to the hot. As to the hot, it don't show that the men of the NIG boys and the men of BLA boys don't clash face to face. This one a blatant, what do they call blatant woto. If now Eba go say na woto promise and na the thing will be say it happen as it be now. And as it be, you know, as it be, they say that when two elephants are fighting, the person will go suffer na the grass, na him go suffer as it be. Two elephants don't fight and a grass they suffer as it be. People will be say then they for that as they don't turn out. They don't collect trauma for around where this thing happen as the information they reach for my table. But as it be, the men of the NIG boys don't retreat. But the men of the BLA say no retreat, no surrender. Say person no go come for their own papa land. See there for their papa land. Still there with them. As I did for Mazi Simon Twitter handle now, in the talk something, say breaking Biafra will be declared in October this year, 2024, in Helsinki, Finland, during Biafra's second convention. Every effort must geared towards this declaration. Now you understand when I said I know the day Biafra will come. Continue playing this one at the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile, Mazi Simon now in the talk this one. In say as they be it don't the reach time where we say they go declare Biafra independence for Finland, Helsinki, and according to him, he said this one go happen for this year as they be. Wait. Now for Helsinki, this one go happen as they be, and this one is coming from the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile live. Government don't move against extortion. Multiple checking points will be say e for road. Thank God say government don't remember them because this checking point don't cost plenty wahala for plenty people as it be wahala. As it be, they don't talk and say every checking point will be say will be say know they valuable. Say that they come out and for road. If you don't apply Port Harcourt Owerri Port Harcourt Road, Owerri Onitsha Road, Enugu Onitsha Road, Aba Port Harcourt Road, and all those roads where you see, you go see the kind police checking points where we say e dey there. Them plenty and I dey ask, waiting those police people they there they do, waiting be their work, there, and who they protect, and who they try to save. But the matter will be said that they do there, now they collect 100 naira. And imagine how many cars where they pass for those roads. Imagine when they collect 100 naira, like 20 or 100 cars or 500 cars. My brother, if you times some 100 times 500, 100 times 100 is already 10,000. Check them times 5, they will be making 50,000 per day. And they pass that kind of money, and this checking points if you they move from what they call them Anambra to Imo State, they pass 20. Imo State to Port Harcourt, they pass 20. Enugu to Anambra, they pass 20. Enugu to Abakaliki, they. And what they surprise me be say now for only Southeast you see these checking points. Now, as it be, they say Lagos in a reviewed effort to find lasting solution to the perennial gridlock on Oshodi Apapa Expressway and other parts access road. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegbayeya Oyetola, has promised to eliminate extortions of maritime truck drivers, illegal checkpoints, unapproved parking of trucks along the road, among other vices causing traffic along the port access road within 1 week. One thing we say government they promise, but they know the fully promise. As it be, bandits don't enter for Zamfara community. They don't buy about 7 people, carry scores of people, carry them come out. If you they see the things where we say they happen, it go be like say Nigeria every day. Don't turn Chibo and Ozo. You know, get one day we go break. wey be say one thing or the other no go happen. As it be, they say Akredo don't arrive Nigeria. Remember, say Omolo Esawore, they accuse Akredolu's wife and the family. Say he be like say Akredolu no die for Germany. Oh. Say he be like say the man die for this Niger. Chai. But as it be, you go see say this life no balance. This Akredolu na governor of Ondo State, and money day, finances day, where without day, where we say they go take care of in life. But as God know one making live, na so the one buy. Now you go make you know say as this life day, nothing there inside. There is nothing to boast about life. If God give you life, no say na him one purposely give you life. Make I carry go for that full story of Oga Akredolu. The body of the late former governor of Ondo State wrote to me Akredolu has arrived Nigeria. Akredolu's body was brought into the country from Germany, where he passed away and had been reportedly deposited at the morgue until final burial. The former governor passed away in Germany on Wednesday, December 27, 2023. The plane that conveyed the body reportedly arrived in Lagos at about 3:39 p.m. on Friday, January 5th. The wife of the late governor, Betty Anyanwu Akredolu, his children and siblings, led by Professor Wole Akredolu, the immediate younger brother, received the body. Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his chief of staff, Mr. Tayo Akinde, Ogun